Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the King, and welcome back to the channel. Today, everybody, we have some exciting news about some new mechanics and new things that are going to be incorporated on into Dead by Daylight. And as you can read by the title, we're going to be getting AI bots coming on into the game. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how these bots are going to work, what they're going to do, and everything that you would need to know about these bots, as well as the new mechanic that we're going to be getting in the game. If you guys haven't already, consider subscribing down below. We're so close to 80,000 subscribers, and our goal for the end of the year is 100,000. So I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. And if you do enjoy the video at any point, leave a like down below. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about this new bot system. First of all, what are these bots? Bots are essentially going to be coming into DBD, and this is a concept that is used on Dead by Daylight Mobile for players that specifically disconnect. As you know, when someone DC, the shift and balance in the game is completely shifted. It's as if one of your teammates were to die. And if the killer decides to DC, the game just flat out ends. So what happens in those situations where people are still DCing, they're going to take their 5-minute punishment, they don't really care about it? What happens to the other players? They would have to suffer because of this. And with bots, this is literally the solution to it. And it seems that Dead by Daylight, the official Dead by Daylight, I should say, for Dead by Daylight on console and PC, are taking note of what mobile is doing, and they're incorporating it onto the main game. Pretty exciting stuff, to say the least. This is a concept that a lot of people have talked about in the past about bringing on in, and there's a lot of debates on both sides on if we should bring bots into the game and if we should not bring bots on into the game. There have been cases where people have said bots would completely ruin the game and negate everything, and there's just been cases where people are like, well, we have it in DBD mobile and it works pretty well. And I'm one of those people that think that this would work pretty well. Because if you do have a player that, isn't afraid of the punishments, they want to DC against something that they're uncomfortable with, they would simply just DC and take the punishment. But what happens to the other 3 survivors? The entire game is shifted completely because of that DC. Now, if you have a bot into the game, the bot would just go ahead and do the duties of the survivor or the killer, and the game will continue to go on. That person who has disconnected will face their punishment for what they've done, and everybody else will not have to suffer because of this. It's a win-win on both sides. The person that DCs doesn't have to play the game anymore. They will be penalized for it, and the people that are currently still in the game will have their bots to replace their teammates. Now, this is a really cool concept to see what these bots are going to do, and in fact, because it is on Dead by Daylight Mobile, we kind of already have an idea of how these bots are going to work. In fact, these bots are in the game files, are already on the PTB, so you never know. If you are on the PTB, which I'm not sure if a lot of you guys are, considering there's quite a few bugs on it, we might actually already be playing against a bot and we wouldn't even know. That's the beauty of it, because you won't even know when you're playing against a bot, as a killer at least, or even as survivor. Sometimes it doesn't tell you. On mobile, I believe it does not tell you. So let's go ahead and break down how these bots specifically are going to work. What happens if you were to DC, or if your teammate were to DC, what happens with these bots? So simply put, a bot will come on into their place. I don't think you will know that they're a bot. Maybe you will by looking at their gameplay, but we don't know. It's too early to know if we'll have an indication that that person is a bot. The bot will go ahead and do the regular duties of a survivor or a killer. As a survivor, they would work on generators, cleanse totems, run from the killer, drop pallets, do things like that. And there will be different difficulties for these bots depending on what rank you're playing on. So right now, as you know, ranking is going to get overhauled eventually when the MMR system comes out. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to adequately put these bots. So whatever system they're going to be using, obviously it won't be ranking anymore. Whatever MMR system they're going to be using, that's how the bots are going to be ranked. So for the players that are less experienced or brand new to the game, you will get a bot that does the same exact thing. You won't get a bot that just goes on gens, targets everything, and does everything for you. That feature is going to be used for the players that play the game way more, and there's going to be an in-between, of course, for the casual players that, come home from work, they just want to play the game and enjoy themselves. So we're going to be seeing bots like that for the mediums. Now, if we were to scale this to ranking, for easy bots, we would have rank 20 to 16. For medium bots, we would have rank 15 to 7. And then for hard bots, or like the bots that know what they're doing, we're going to have it for rank 6 and 1. And the same will be on the killer side. Now, The thing about the killer side bots that I am a little bit concerned for is that when I played on Dead by Daylight Mobile, we received a lot of bots. I played with Sanho, Polyester, and Vincent Vega. And when we were playing this, the bots, the way their AI are designed is that once they lock onto somebody, they are going to full on go and try to kill that person, even if they've been hooked, even if they were just unhooked or anything like that. The AI just snaps to them and tries to kill them. Doesn't respect any pallets, you know, follows pretty much all of your movements. If you vault somewhere, it knows exactly where you're at. So it won't work essentially as a human. It won't like go and try to mind game you. It won't try to reverse pallet loop you or double back or anything like that, which is the only complications that I might see, because there are a few bugs when it comes down to it. For example, if you continuously vault, it doesn't know what to do, and it would walk forward, then walk backwards, walk forward, walk backwards, and you can just indefinitely vault over and over. Obviously, things like that might be ironed out, but it's quite funny to think about if a bot is just going to be tunneling down one survivor. Obviously, of course, it is too early, and they might tweak their AI to be better PC, as they will have more room to do that when it comes down to space on your computer, because for mobile, a lot of things have to be compressed, so I think a lot of AI code might not have been optimal to be on mobile. But on PC, we might have bots that do completely different things. So that's just an indication of what the bots could be, but frankly, we don't really know what we're going to see, and hopefully they put an announcement out in the future talking about these bots and what they're going to do. I'm waiting for that polyester theory about Terminator coming on into DBD, because now we have bots. But that is essentially all that you need to know about the bots and what they're going to be doing. They're just going to be replacing people that DC, and they'll do the jobs of the survivors and the killers, and depending on your rank is how good or how bad they will perform. So what is the other thing that is part of this video, the second half of this video essentially? That is the red glyphs. And the red glyphs is going to be a new mechanic that is going to be coming on into Dead by Daylight. And essentially the way it is coded and the way it's said is that this is going to essentially be like a crown. That's the best example that I can give to you guys. And it will spawn, but the only time you'll be able to see it is when you are close to it. You have to be really close in order to see it. And essentially, if you pick it up, you will get yourself some blood points. So essentially, this is going to be exactly like the crown system, and it's just going to be this red glyphs instead. And if you receive it, we're not entirely too sure on everything, like if other players can get it, if more than one person can get it, things like that. I don't think more than one players can get it, but it'll just be on the map. You'll be able to grab it, and you'll get yourself some blood points by doing that. Now, this is going to add in another objective for survivors and for killers, which can adequately buy time on one side. For example, if the killer is just doing his thing and all the survivors are like, ooh, I want to get those blood points, that might be in their favor. So adding essentially another objective. Now, there is an image that we can show you on screen right now of what it can potentially look like, but it is really, really early. So it's probably still in development. This is subject to change, so we'll have to see. And yeah, so this essentially is going to spawn in the map. You're going to get blood points if you use it. We're not entirely sure how much blood points you're going to be able to get, or exactly how much people are going to be able to use it, but it's pretty cool to have this. And you know, we essentially play tested something like this with the entire crown system, so really awesome to have a mechanic like that coming on into the game. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much going to wrap it up for all of the news that we have for you today. There are other information about some of the things that are going to be coming out, more skin renders and things like that, but we won't get too much into it, as the PTB is almost done, and we're going to be getting the update coming out pretty soon, so we'll probably get some official word on everything. Keep that in mind. All this is unofficial, by the way. This isn't 100% confirmed to come. In fact, they might scrap any of these ideas, so we'll have to wait and see. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about this. How do you feel about bots coming on into the game? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is a bad idea? Let me know down below. And how do you feel about this new blood point incentive that we're going to be having on the game? I would love to hear all of your opinions down below. If you guys are new and you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. As I said, we are close to 80,000 subscribers, and our goal for the is 100,000. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Make sure you share this with your friends as well to let them know what's going on in DBD. As always, I'm the king. I tip my crown to you guys, and we will see you in the fog.